if by that time you also need help looking for a job, you can come on a different day and sign up for a workshop with your job. And if you can't get to us because you just so happen to be behind the wall, our volunteer program goes in every Thursday to help those inmates learn long-term and short-term care. If you're in for long-term, you're able to figure out how to be a wonderful leader while you're inside. And on the curriculum I wrote for those coming home, just like you guys spoke on, you have to make sure that they have their schedule and they plan all their ducks lined up in the row for when they come home. And the one thing that we're starting to see from that is our guys are really starting to show up. We're starting to see them as they come home. They're coming in to see us. They're coming in to tell us what their stories are, to get help with workforce, to find their housing, to get reacclimated with their kids and build their relationships with their families, because that's really what this is about, right? Making sure we build up these family systems to hold our youth accountable. Specifically for me, how sexual health shows up, because I manage programs and specifically coming to do workshops, it's a lot of conversation about possessiveness, how you treat women, how you respond to and treat men, and how you make sure that you also need to take care of yourself by using protection. Most of the time, I'm having talks with these youth and young adults, and that's the conversation I had. What were you doing last night? I don't know, I was out being wild. Were you being wild using protection? What were you being? Were you being wild with more than one? Are you making sure you're doing what you're supposed to do to be out here being wild? Because the one thing that we have is advantage of all of us being mentors is, man, these kids come to us, they talk to us, and they're honest. Okay? Every time we ask them questions, we don't have to worry about necessarily lying to us. Okay? I'm really, really thankful to be in this work because I used to be homeless youth. Also, I started teaching sexual health to my son at the age of 6. He's now 16. So all his friends that call me Mama Sarah, I'm now reiterating the same principles that I taught my son as I make sure I pray for these youth for them to be better. And we have our wonderful star right here.
My name is Kat. I have 2 titles. I'm a youth engagement coordinator, and I'm also a security. At the office, I'm the first person that most people see, so I'm standing up playbooks for workforce development by housing opportunities for them to see the therapists. Over the summer, we had a cohort where I was lead that. So even just having simple conversations with the young ladies about sex and how uncomfortable they were, I did everyone had one in several that they were able to speak them and get more information. So the topic of sex is either not really being talked about or just being kind of brushed over, where people don't really understand. I was going to mention, I just sent my little brother to college. I sent him off.
Yes.
He's at college. I walked out of that room. I said, y'all got some condoms to both him and his roommate. So y'all have condoms. And I said this from my grandmother. I'm like, they don't need no damn conversation to be doing nothing. They shouldn't be doing nothing, but that's not to say they not. So before we go 2 hours down the road, do y'all have enough condoms to let y'all in case you decide to do whatever you already had that conversation, but you need to protect yourself. And that's one thing I kept telling my little brother. I don't care what you do, you need to protect yourself while you're on that college campus because it's you versus everybody on that campus. So make sure you're doing what you need to do to stay safe and stay protected and protect others as well. So that's all. Oh, and I'm also a youth ambassador. I was just in the, I don't think it's the most recent one. I think I had another one recently, but I was in the sex telling the storytelling. That's right. Tori was on the power of no. No is a fortune. Give us a little bit of that. A little bit. I don't think I remember now. Coach D came up here too. No, let me tell you, you were amazing. Hell no. He's my language. But my story, I'm gonna tell you a little about. I can remember about. I can't remember some parts. I'm not gonna remember on the spot. But when I was 18, I was spanked in the butt. I ended up pregnant, and I had my first no to being a single mother. My second no was to study with the rest, and now I said no just for the fun of it. No to sexual encounters that I don't want. No to uncomfortable things that I don't want to be around and hear. And just also letting men as well know that y'all can say no to me. Because not just women can say no to sex. Men turn it down too. So just encourage everybody the stand is like 10 toes down. When you say no, put a little emphasis on it so they understand they can feel it. 'Cause no is a full sentence.
That's right.
Has been a star youth ever since she's been born. She was a youth in business when she was 15 years old, and she now serves on, I think, 2 boards in Baltimore.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
I just want to make sure. Yes.
No and no. Which is part of and oh, not understand. I love your story. You need to remember. I'm always one of these days again. You are awesome. All right, next. Oh, Renee.
Oh, Renee.
Let's go, Renee. Renee. We had an awesome session yesterday, Renee and I. Okay, so. I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. I was born in Baltimore, and that song resonated with me so deeply. But it was in a fight with the trauma that I endured as a young girl. I didn't learn, I'm 50, but I didn't learn until I was maybe 48 that I had the highest level of trauma. I learned about ACEs. I learned about how it affects you. And it made complete sense the direction that my life went into, from that song to the fight between the two. So I opened an organization called the Queen Sisterhood Society. Pretty fast. So before that, I have an organization called Renew Lifestyles. And Renew Lifestyles, I promote healthy living. I have a health and fitness background. So I always wanted to teach healthy living, how to live healthy, because a lot of the stories that I heard today where kids are in schools having sex, and a lot of people are making poor choices, and the statistics that we know about sex and STIs, it's partially because of that trauma that our community had to endure. A lot of people are walking around just not fully mentally healthy. They're making impulsive decisions, they're not thinking, and it's put us in the situation where we are right now. So the way that I approach this collaborative is through awareness. I have conversations. I'm also a hairstylist full-time. That's my full-time job. All the rest is part-time. So I'm a full-time hairstylist, and the conversations, even adults, like I said, make impulsive decisions and not really realizing. And once you get the information out, I have a conversation with a client who was debating if she was going to cheat on her husband. And when I told her the levels of HIV, she said, "Oh, but I guess that's not going to happen." So just that quickly, she changed her mind. So the trauma that I endured also led me, because I was walking the streets, stealing groceries. It's my family, my sister and I, we talk about it today. She's a nurse practitioner, and I'm an entrepreneur, but we didn't have food. So I was very passionate about financial literacy and making sure that I never had to endure that. And I wanted to be able to teach the community and provide financial empowerment. And now we have a 6-figure portfolio in investing. So investing club. $327,000 to be exact. But yeah, so we also have a pillar in our organization that provides personal development. And that personal development, I'm weaving in sexual health. Even just yesterday, the 8 dimensions of wellness, all of it is connected to sexual health. So our workshops, our retreats, I incorporate into everything that we do. So, and we're also in the school system teaching financial literacy, just a lot of people don't know the information. They don't know. It's not taught. I think it's supposed to be a secret from us. But once we get the information and start to apply it, I have stories of people increasing their net worth, saving their emergency funds, investing, creating their own investment portfolios, and incorporating financial literacy and health. And I feel like we just really will be good.
Thank you. And I would say yesterday, the Twin Sisterhood Society, they were my guinea pigs as I tried out a new activity to promote sexual health. And what we did was the 8 dimensions of health and wellness, and how each one of them is tied to sex. Because one of the challenges that I have, and we've discussed this, is that people are in denial, or there's this taboo not wanting to talk about sex. Okay, so we have to come up with ways to talk about sex, and that sex is influencing every part of who we are. Okay, so then the thought is like, okay, the 8 dimensions of health, and then how is that tied to relationship and to sex? And how did it go, Miss Renee?
Oh.
That last night's session, how was it?
It was amazing. Everyone participated. Reference eased it in with the 8 dimensions of wellness. She handed everyone a topic, and she then asked, how does this relate to a healthy relationship? And then she segued into her presentation and talked about sex and statistics, and said we can go deeper, so next session we can go deeper.
In the ways that they had not thought about.
Well,
And today, she told me that the person that overheard the presentation at the restaurant contacted her, it's like, how can I get hold of this woman that did the training? Because I want her to come and do training for my folks. So she just read it to me when she arrived here, so I'll do things. So I'm running my mouth there, the restaurant or whatever, I would be out there during training. But it really went well, and one of the things that I'm really dedicated to throughout this year is really think about activities that engage people, that kind of chips away this taboo or the fear about talking sex, and finding ways to talk about it through games and activities. So thank you, Queen Society, Renee, for that opportunity. I think we covered the ambassadors, and our communication ambassador is the Voice of Africa, and Cadmill. And thank you for highlighting our work and bringing recognition through the newsletter about the work that we are doing. Very appreciative. Okay, so we transition now to a new addition that we have to the ambassadors. It's Michelle.
Hello, everybody. I am so excited to be in this space and to be a part of this program. I'm new, right? So this is my first meeting. But a little bit about me. I'm a writer. I'm an artist. I'm a collaborator. I'm a healer. And my work lies at the intersection of food, emotion, tradition, trauma, and family. And I heard a lot of those words when everybody came up to that. And there are a lot of words that just really, resonated with me. That trauma piece, the trust piece, all of this is connected. And I'm gonna just kind of tell a little bit of how I grew up there when I got together, because I'm a storyteller too. And George Chaplin and me, I was part of that storytelling cohort. But the work that I do is about getting to the truth, getting to our personal truth. And a lot of the conversations that we're having around sexual health and being safe and being protected and standing in our nose so that we can pursue our best, which is our safety, right? It was because there's some things that we don't know and we don't understand. And the way that we can understand these dark places is through conversation and talking about that we want to talk about. It's in the dark. I heard somebody talk about workshops. I host and facilitate workshops. That's not what I've always done. And before I was a writer, I was someone who struggled with my weight. I have greatly lost over 700 pounds. And that struggle with my weight was not a struggle with food. That struggle with my weight was a struggle with me learning how to care for myself, how to protect myself, how to love myself, how to understand myself, to know what my truth was. That's the journey. That's the big disconnect, especially with those people who are dealing with food issues. We think it's the food, but it's not the food, it's the story. And when we get to the story, through our relationships with one another, through connecting with one another, through having open, honest conversations about what's going on with us, including sex, right? Then we can get to our truth, then we can get to some healing, right? We can get to some healing and make decisions that serve us, that honor us, that honor how we're supposed to show up in this world, to honor how we can protect ourselves and other people. So I'm glad to be a part of this work. I have this envelope in my hand, and I want to share this with you all. It's all connected. It's all connected. Or you might not think that it is, but here's the thing. That thing that I told you about the food is it. The pleasure that we get from eating food, especially the salty, fatty, sugary stuff, that stuff is addictive. It lights up the same neural pathways in the brain as sex does. The dopamine, the serotonin, the oxytocin, the same reward center, the same pleasure center. And so when those things, like the little kids in the hall, and those things are in overdrive, right? And we don't know how to manage what's going on in our head. That's what the issue is. It is not a behavior problem. So for anybody who's ever heard or talked about behavior modification, it's not behavior modification. It is belief modification. It is thinking modification. It is thought modification. It is emotion modification. Because when we change our thinking, when we change our brains, our bodies have to follow.
Yes.
So we have to have new, empowering thoughts around sex and life and everything that we do in order to move in that change. And we do that through conversation. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
Come on, shout. Come on.
So I'm gonna share with you all that I have created 20 workshops.
Okay.
20 workshops between October 18th and really July the 11th that are going, yes. So it's like everyone gets this, it's like two. I need to 20 workshops between now and July 11th that are going to be held at two churches in Baltimore. St. Matthew's United Methodist in Golden County. We'll do these workshops once a month. But we'll do twice a month, but it'll be on the same Saturday, once in the morning, once in the afternoon. And I love breakfast, your idea, I'm gonna shut up, I'm going too long. Your eight, thank you. That start off one place, but take people where you want to go. That's what these workshops about. So we start off with, the body as inherited story. So the whole notion is to have these conversations. It may be some men may come, it's primarily women. But we're gonna talk about sex, we're gonna talk about love, we're gonna talk about acceptance, we're gonna talk about body shaming, we're gonna talk about image, we're gonna talk about all of these things. Because here's the thing, is that we're all coping with that stuff, and coping with it and not knowing how to cope with it puts us in a place of stress and discomfort. Not having the answers, not being able to figure it out, feeling some sort of shame, feeling some sort of less than, all these lies that society pushes up on us, right? Trying to figure that stuff out. And when that takes us to this place of discomfort and pain, it is so easy to reach for the chips. It is so easy to reach for the cakes and the cookies and all that stuff that we call comfort food that is actually discomfort food, because we don't know how to manage the thing. And so we would learn how to manage the thing because we are managing our thoughts, meditation, affirmation, writing. These are writing workshops. We are retraining our brain and our thoughts to think differently about how we move in this world. And we can retrain our brains to change our thoughts about how we interact in sexual relationships. When we put it on paper, when it becomes real, when you write the play, when he says this, I'm gonna say this. Isn't that right? When you write it down, it becomes real. Right? We don't have the conversation, we don't have the language. Right? What do you want to say? How do you want to feel after this thing is over? Do you want to feel safe, or do you want to feel used like you feel it?
Come on, tell me.
What do you want? So we write it and we bring it to life. I'm so super excited about this.
I'm so super
excited. And also, I get to edit the guidebook. I get to write the story. It's promoting sexual health in black churches. It says a guidebook. We're gonna change that to the official. Official guidebook.
All right. Thank you. I think we covered all the ambassadors, and we do have guests, so we want to allow the guests to introduce themselves briefly. I know some people left. There's still plenty of food, and we want opportunity for networking. And it's 7:15, and maybe next time we'll start on time and end on time. So that we get the full agenda implemented. So our guests, I'm gonna let our guests introduce themselves. And feel free to share any comment or any interest in networking, communicating, or sharing with any of the partners.
I'll go. Hi, everybody. My name is Dana Carr. I'm so happy to be here, and I would love to talk more with everyone, specifically the people that are doing this work in youth spaces, because I do work with youth full time. And I especially would like to know how we are incorporating like social media into these conversations, because that's one of my biggest challenges when I'm working with these young people today. Like, how are we combating the social media, right? So it's like, so how are we incorporating that being safe about your body and what you're posting and what you're talking about sexually online? I would love to talk more with y'all about that.
Thank you.
Okay. Hi everyone, I am Kara Parker. I am Mama Gina's new program coordinator. So I will start with her in June. I'm going to be helping facilitate youth programming with her and administrative tasks and everything else she may need to meet that. So I'm excited to work with her and help her programs to grow and the organization.
Y'all playing outfits?
So,
All right.
My executive team.
Right. Are we hopping in there, bringing that?
She be locked in.
It's you.
Hi, I'm Sarah, everyone. No longer academic professor, I'm a psychologist, so also do workshops, presentations based on community memberships, on talking to universities, organizations, businesses. But I'm so interested in what maybe so many ideas from what everybody said, so I wrote down everybody's name and what they do. I'm also a member of a collective called Sister Docs Exhale, and it's me, two other Black women who they work at universities. Their degrees are in Black women and girls mentorship, things like that, and they are just really looking to get involved in, almost do what you all do or see how they can contribute. So I just would really like to make some introductions and offer our services. So it's just really nice to be able to absolutely forward and working with everybody in here.
And I'm reading one of her novels. When I was reading her novel, I'm like, I've known Dr. Bounty for like maybe 4 or 5 years. She used to be recruited her to be a Bounty professor. So she did community engagement. So when I read that book, I was like, Dr. Money, this is Dr. Money. It's like such an exciting novel, and it's just like social interaction and inner city youth, and I was like, wow, it was just so amazingly beautiful. I saw another side of you as a community psychologist, and the book turned into a film, and it was released this last summer. And So the plan is actually what I would like to do is show it here in Baltimore. And I'll share with you the books, 2 books. I'm on the first one. And that's absolutely wonderful. So it's great to have you. So she wears several hats. A serious person as a community psychologist. She's the first community psychologist I've ever met in my life. So she knows so much about community organizing and working with communities. And the three sisters together that are in this research work, they're just amazing. So check them out, and we hope to partner with them, and that's why I invited her here, so that she can really be a great resource for us in terms of research and strengthening the work that we do. Yes, Mr.
So, Reverend, I just want to mention, I know we got some storytellers. I will be in the next shortcuts. So we're doing 30 years of the Million Man March, telling our stories and inspiration for the community. So that's going to be October 17th. I'll make sure I get you guys some flyers.
That's going to be fantastic.
I don't think we have a location right now. It's either at Compton or Micah. So we're still trying to
Yeah, it was very more than it didn't work out. But yeah, so I look forward to seeing that. It's going to be very powerful. 2 other than, so 3 men to introduce yourself. So Ted Mill and the wonderful guys that were with Wesley. You can share your name.
Charles Miller, mentor for the Media Project. Work with the kids all day, see them all day, talk to us all day, text our phone about the crowd all day. But I love it though. Like once I told y'all, our upbringing was tough. Like I had my dad, but my brothers ain't had it. My sisters, some of my sisters didn't have it, so it was hard growing up. And I'm just glad to be a part of this too.
Thank you for being here.
So-
Charles is actually one of my younger brothers. We have the same mother, different father. So I always make sure that I bring my family into.
I'm Ryan. Everybody call me Mr. B. I go by B.
Yeah.
B. Just, that's how you keep yourself. But I ran into I met West at Morgan State University.
Okay, Morgan.
Yeah.
I don't think
And, when I met him, we didn't necessarily talk too much, but I really got really acquainted with him after college passed. And, just knowing his story, and we share a similar story. I lost my mom to pancreatic cancer when I was 12.
Wow.
So, that's one of my cases that, something that I had to come to grips with. And, it helped me a lot, that outlet for me. I don't think I can ask for another stronger group of brotherhood that we have. So, I'm grateful and appreciative of that. Then if I can do anything to help anyone going through something, that just does something for me. I don't want recognition. I don't want to be on TV. I just want people to know and understand that, somebody's there and somebody cares for me. So that's where I come from. That's
Yeah, so, two others to introduce themselves, so that's, Jimmy and Sam. And Jimmy is also the wonderful resource for that you've mentioned. For some of you, it's new, but to you. And he is managing our data, that we submit regularly to both everybody, testing and prep referral. Jimmy?
Everyone, my name is Jimmy. I came to the U.S. University of International Student from Ethiopia. Came here for school, graduated last year. And then came to office to work with research 6 months, and then I landed another full-time job at the University of Maryland School of Medicine. We work in precision medicine research, one of the largest precision medicine research in the U.S. history. We are enrolling like 250,000 Marylanders in the next 5 to 10 years. And I work on this project as data and communication coordinator. I work on the first half of the project, and I'm so fired up and excited for this one. So it's great to be here. Thank you.
Sam, the evaluation.
So thank you, everyone. I'm happy to say that I'm the logistics behind Director's work. So my name is Dr. Sam. I'm actually a physician who specializes in public health. But right now, I've moved my career up a little bit. I'm a financial coach. I help people do something with their savings. Instead of leaving your savings in the bank, I give you strategies for free. How you can move your money and become wealthy. So this is something I did for the past 2 years, and I feel that a lot of persons need it because finance is everybody's business.
Yes.
Whether you are a professor.
And he has the degrees for it. He has an MBA. He didn't say that. He just graduated with his MBA from Johns Hopkins.
So I'm very passionate about that. So if you really want to talk about your finance, I can be that voice for you.
Yeah. So he's with R&D, helping with evaluation of the sexual health work, but also connecting the programs to build your capacity, financial capacity. So R&D is moving and shaking in all kinds of ways. So thank you so much, everyone. We didn't get through everything on the agenda, but the most important thing is we got to this.
Yes.
So, as we wrap up, like I said in the beginning, I wanted to thank you guys for making your way here to my space. We've been here for 3 years. We just extended to stay here for another year. And it's for two major reasons. So the first one, I'm gonna kind of get my emotions under control. But one is because we were accepted to do the Growing Up and Glow program. Our leadership school for young women. How our youth need us.
Yes.
We've only been there for 3 days, and it is not for the weak or the faint. And those ladies need us. So I will be talking with you all, we'll work with you to help you. It's a 10-week program.
Yes.
So we've only been there, just last week was our first week. So thank you for that. And then I also want to share, and Rebecca, I think I shared this with you on LinkedIn. So we were selected to go national with University of Maryland. So it's the G&I is the Going National Initiative. So out of 114 applicants, 114, we were selected to represent reproductive health.
Yes.
I'm so excited. So I just wanted to share that. Thank you all. I will be pulling on my village and my community. So I appreciate you all for that.
Can you show that to me?
Oh, yes.
I remember there's this one
I'm gonna put everything in like a Google Drive.